Yes. Kalpana, good?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Andy.
Okay, folks. I think this is our third session of the retreat that I went for the 7 days retreat. The last session we spoke about the older self, right? Anyone remembers what is the older self? Everyone knows English, right? Here, no compulsions. So we spoke about the older self last week, right? Any recaps or summaries that we know of from the older self? What is the older self?
Until you are 35 years of age, your like mind patterns, they make it, I mean, it's established, right? Patterns established in your.
Wow, that's good. So I really thought you would say until you have hair, you are an older self. When you lost your hair, you are new, but you didn't answer that. That's good. Any other thoughts? So we'll recap of the older self just to, for 2 minutes, just to see what we discussed. The older self is kind of pattern that we found with our belief system, with our core emotional stuff that we went through, right? Our past experiences. When we typically take it granted. We never remember the good days, good things. If someone blames us, that is very sweet for us. We take it inside, we store it, we retrieve it, we remember all the times. So those old experiences, emotional wounds, if someone says a single word, we keep that. But we keep that in a locker. So it doesn't be stolen by anybody. We kind of keep it there and retrieve it all the time. Convenient, right? Like a gold, diamonds. Then the fear is another thing that we store it. It is like a precious jewel for us, right? Without fear, we can't live. So then, so the lack of intelligence, lack of ignorance is one of the things that we see. Ignorance. What is an ignorance? Example of ignorance? Any examples? Any thoughts?
Not being in awareness is also ignorance.
Yeah, obviously. Give one practical example for a fifth grader. Fifth grader example. You are sitting in a train. The train is on the platform, not moving. But the train in parallel to you starts moving. So what do you think? We are moving and they are standing. Right?
Yeah.
Is that ignorance? But when you get off the platform and see both of them together, what happens? You know which one is moving, which one is not. But when you are sitting in your train, you get an illusion that you are moving and not the other person. That is nothing but ignorance. That is also stored in our memory. We always see ourselves as the best, the others as fault all the time. The old pattern comes from there. And judgment, this is the biggest thing. We do gossips all the day. We enjoy. Oh, you know what? Jayashree ji is always so. She never welcomes anybody to her home. Now the other person says, you know what? The other day, I went and banged her door. She kind of banged the door in front of my face. We love it, right? The gossips, the judgments. Then blames. We kind of blaming others all the time. We always want to find excuses to come out of our comfort zone. Then the expectations. When we go to others' house, we have expectations. Oh, last time when I went to her house, she gave me a mango lassi. This time I go to her house, she should be giving much better than. Right? The expectations. We always go with some expectations. Then self-doubt. We go to the office every day with a lot of confidence. As soon as we open the door from the car, enter into the office, and will I be surviving this today? And when your boss enters the cabin and moves on, you would say, insecurity. So we all have that self-doubt that whether you are capable enough, you are worthy enough. Those are the inbuilt characteristics. We create those things. It was not created by somebody else, but we ourselves created all of those. Survival-based thinking. What is this survival-based thinking? Oh, today I survived. I can come tomorrow to the office. Right? So we always are in that lacking mode. Something is lacking in our lives all the time. That is our older self. And we are very familiar with it. We love it. We want to be in that zone all the time. So the other thing that we spoke last time from an older self perspective is that the brain and the body alignment pattern. Any examples you remember from the older session? Brain and body. How many times did you switch on the alarm? And when the morning alarm opens, then break. And then snooze it and sleep again. Most of the times. In the olden days, they used to curse those cocks all the time. They come out early morning, 5:30, and they start crowing, and then these guys say, man, this guy has no work. Early morning, before the sun rises, he wakes. So we always, our body and our mind, both are disaligned all the time. Our body clock is very different from our mind clock. The mind says, hey, wake up in the morning. You have office to go, you have work to do. The body says, hey, I am tired, I cannot wake up. Your body's clock is different from your mind's clock. Both are two different animals here. Right? This is very important to understand. Actually, it becomes prominent when it comes to the diseases, the healings, and all those portions. Our mind says, I am not worthy. I am not capable. And body says, yes, yes, that is true. You are zero. And now both mind and body are happy because they are in alignment. No complaints, no kind of confusion there. Body and mind both says, I am not worthy. Happy. Now body and mind both says to be in a victim mode. What is a victim mode?
Everything happens to me.
Yeah, guilt feel. We always feel guilt about it. Oh, you know what? The other day, I unnecessarily blamed her. The other day, I kind of invited trouble myself. I should not have been going there. So those kind of guilt feels. We always have, and we preserve them. They are precious for us. So, victim mode. Victim mode does what?
Pity about myself. Yeah.
Let's say you are going in a wrong direction. Someone comes and bangs your car. What do? You were just few feet away from taking the right turn. Why does that guy have to be so fast? He could have given me a right of way. So what did we do?
Victim card.
You took out the victim card and blamed the others. Even though the fault is yours, you don't want to accept it. Right? So that's what happens. We keep on blaming others when it comes to the victim mode. Judgmental. This is a very known term for all of us, right? What is a judgment here? How do we define it?
Opinion about others,
Opinion about others. Okay. Any examples?
like anybody you would like, okay, she's like that or he's like that or something like that. It's just in our mind that from previous experience or whatever. And you have that. So you pass the judgment without knowing the fact.
Wow. You hit on the nail. So what is that judgment bringing us here?
Jealousy, resentment.
So we always tend to find fault in others. We bring our magnifying glass. Even if the other person has no issues, we bring our magnifying glass and look for things. Even Rama couldn't escape from this. When he came out from the the exile, he had to sacrifice his wife. His kingdom is told even today is the best, but he had to go through that suffering. So we always carry our big magnifying glasses with us. We always tend to find fault in others. Why? We feel happy about it, right? We are all so involved and we are so attracted to it. We feel pleasure in it. Blaming others, blaming things, finding fault, mistakes, judgments, gossiping. We love it, right? So those are the things that we took about. So what does all these things do? Whatever lockers that we have been holding, whatever bad things that happened, emotionals, the feelings, all those things, the judgments, what did they do?
More growth.
They created
Pattern.
codes, patterns.
But
And the pattern became what?
habits. Habits.
Habits. And habits became what?
Destiny.
Personality.
Personal.
And this personality became what?
Identity.
Identity. Or that becomes a personal reality. You own it. Right? So you would always be, when you have a problem, what do you do? Oh, Srinath, you know what? My wife is always blaming me. I go to her and she would say, you know what? My husband is like. What happens there?
Matching.
We console each other.
Yeah.
We console each other. We kind of give comfort to each other. And then we say, oh, you know what? People are like that. They cannot see us grow. So we conclude that there with a good judgment. We both feel happy. We both go home. Right? So that is our outer actual personality. And that is our older self. And what did we learn from all these things? We have been repeating the same thing again and again. When my wife does something, I go to her. When her husband does something, she comes to me. Or when I need to blame someone, I kind of call who is ready to listen to me. When I want to blame someone, I find a way. When I need to cry, I look for my jewel box and then bring the magnifying glass. Right? I have tools. I have everything ready. My body and mind both are in alignment. They are perfectly all right. When I have a problem, I have everything that I need to soothe it. And this old pattern, I keep on repeating all the time. So that became a pattern for me. And that pattern became a personal reality. And this is what we discussed in our previous session, right? How this older personality is formed and what is this? This older personality, if you go to an astrologer, they would say, what?
तुम्हारा राहु खराब है
देखिए मैं आपका कुंडली देख रहा हूँ. I think in 12th house, you have a Rahu sitting there. And in the 6th house,
God supporting.
there you go. In the 6th house, you know what? Shani is sitting there. तुम्हारा कुंडली गया पानी में, तुम जाओ घर पे.
And it's also about, I think, we seek self-pity and victimized pain. And other thing I wanted to say was like, you are listening to me and I'm listening to you. But if, say, suppose somebody else is not listening, like, they're not listening to my complaint, I don't.
You will never go to them again.
I'm trying to find somebody like, okay, I can play self-pity game and a victimized game.
Yeah. Let's say you come to me, you say, you know what, my husband is blaming me, he's troubling me. And I said, what did you do? You would never come to me again.
Yeah.
Right. So that is all about the older self. Now today's session is about newer self. Newer self. What is a newer self?
Break the patterns.
Pattern change. I already have a pattern. Why do I change? I am very comfortable with it, right? I always take my magnifying glass and everything. My body is comfortable. So why do we need to change? You'll see that in the next half hour. So the first step in the newer self is awareness. What does this awareness bring?
That I'm going to the old patterns.
There you go. The observation. The awareness comes with an observation. When you observe, what happens?
You see your energy leaks, you identify.
You identify. Let's say I am jealous of Ganesh all the time. And he is always happy, smiling. I want to make him cry. Right? So what do I do? The first step that I do is I put my 360 degrees angle on him. Does everything, I kind of note down everything that he does. Where does he go? What does he do? What kind of talk he has, body language, the kind of 360 degrees I get. And after that, I look for the weaknesses. Then I attack. You might have seen this in the movies all the time, right? Movies, when you go to the movies, politics, how to corner people, how to, trap them, all these things. So the awareness, what happens when you build that awareness? Instead of Ganesh, if I build that awareness on myself, what happens?
Take actions.
Let's say I am very fond of buying a car. I am too excited about buying a car. Extremely. So if someone comes and says, hey, you know what, I got a 1912 Ford. That is an exotic vehicle. You can have it and you will be into that limelight. And he says it is 50,000, but it is in bid. Now I would say what? I'll spend 60,000 to get that car. Right? What is there in that action? The excitement. Right? Now, the other thing, my neighbor has a beautiful, I think, front yard, and he has all kinds of colorful flowers. And your yard is kind of goofy, no good flowers. What do?
You get good answer.
You saw that movie, right? Swati Mutyam? Swati Mutyam movie. All of you saw. What does Kamal Hassan do in that?
Implement.
Oh.
He brings that cow dung from the opposite neighbor's house and puts in front of it. So when your neighbors are sleeping, you go transfer those flowers, plants to yours. What is there in that action?
Greed.
Jealous. Greed.
Green.
So what is happening there from all these things that you see? That is the compassion, passion that is associated. You want to look nice. You want to be one of those limelights. You see these YouTube shorts and reels and all that. What are they all after? The name and fame and likes. When you meet any blogger, they would say, you know what, I have written a beautiful blog. Why don't you read that? When you see a reel posted by somebody, you don't even, you are not interested in talking about reels. He will start somewhere else and bring you back to that reel. And you know what? This exact same thing I spoke in the reel. They will somehow connect back. It is like a cow story. When someone asks write a passage about how thermochemical works, he starts somewhere in the chemical neuroplasticity and all that, and he brings back cow dung into that because he is fond of that cow. Similar thing. We always go back to what is known to us. So the observation, when we start observing this, the intensity levels goes down. Let's say you are anger on something, your husband kind of blamed. You are too sad doing something. You are feeling pretty low that day. Your boss kind of gave you a pretty low performance rating. What do you do with that? You kind of emotionally disturb that day. Right? Let's say, let's take one example. You are working and then your boss gave you a pretty bad performance. You cooked food, your kids loved it, your husband loved it, and the day was normal. They all went to the office and schools and all that, and your neighbor came and gave you some curry. Your lawnmower gave and he kind of mowed the lawn. You got a mail from your HOA appreciating your lawn and all that. So when you need to write a summary of your day, what do you write?
A bad performance.
Which one?
Bad performance that you got from the boss.
So you have 99 things happening, right? HOA, you got a good letter from HOA, your husband liked your food, Your kids are pretty happy with your thing. Everything is going good. But ultimately, the summary becomes what?
Bad performance.
You ignore all these 99 things, and then you would say, you know what? I struggled for 1 year. The whole year of effort, he gave me 4 rating out of 5. So, and the next thing what we do, we take that anger of that 4 rating and show it on our husbands, kids, and create a friction, frustration. What did we do there? We passed our frustration from somewhere to somewhere. Now your kids are disturbed. Your husband is disturbed. And they go disturb someone else. There is a saying in Telugu. Paachenda Buranta Churchindanji. So that means a monkey who is frustrated spoiled the entire village. Same thing. So what happens here is we kind of take that and we do 2 things. We suppress those emotions or we pass that emotion to somebody else. When you pass that emotion to somebody else, it spreads wildfire. When you suppress those emotions, what happens? They become pressure cooker within you. When it becomes pressure cooker within you, that will blast someday, right? So do this next time. When this situation occurs, when you are angry, you observe your emotion and tell me what it is. Did anyone do this? We have been meditating for years, right? What happens from your experience? When you are angry or when you are feeling low, if you observe what happens,
Helps you slowly come out of that.
helps you come out of it. Means what?
That negative emotion.
To analyze.
You realize?
Mm.
Okay.
And accept that we are accepting. We need to change, or it's something we are being judgmental. We have to pause.
Intensity reduces.
We are all telling about the results. I'm asking about the process.
We'll try to shift
React to this.
from that.
Why we got the immediate.
We try to switch. The intensity in that scale comes down drastically. Observe it. When you are angry, if you notice that you are angry, the intensity, if it is like 10, immediately that comes down to 6. What happens when it comes to 6?
Think better. Think better.
Things are in your control.
Yeah.
When the emotion is at 10, what happens?
You're not in the right emotional state.
Nothing happens. You are like a teenager now.
Mm.
You bang your phone, your husband says, oh. Now you become a kid, right? You show the angry frustration and all that stuff. But when that intensity comes to 6 or 4, you're not passing that to others. You know how to handle in that point. What to do and what not to do. You did what? Just by
Observing.
observing. You did nothing. You just observed the kind of emotion that you had. And the intensity immediately came down. It is like a person who has fever 103 degrees. You put cold cloth on top of his head. What happens? Comes down to 100 degrees. Similar to this, whenever you have a emotion, unwanted emotion, just pay attention. This is what we call it as what? Dash. This is in the new terms, mindfulness, awareness. Right? That is what we all have been discussing about. And this is our first step in the transformation process. All that you need to do is just observe. What do you observe?
Emotion.
Not your neighbors, not your husband,
Our own patterns.
yourself, the emotion that is coming in. And when you question on that emotion, what happens? Let's say you are pretty angry at your kid. He spoiled the wall. Looked at it and you said, and to repair this wall now it costs me $1,000. You're pretty mad. Now you observe emotion. What happens? The intensity comes down. You still elect your kid. No matter whether you are at an emotion of 10, you take a stick and hit him. But when the emotion is at 6, you just yell at him. You don't beat him at that point. When your emotion is at 4, you will have sit with him, explain him how much cost it happens. Then you would say, hey, your pocket money is off for the next 3 months.
Or you would do like emotional lecture.
That is anyway, is part of it. Part of the package. So that same action, the kid has not changed his action, but the reaction is different from you. Notice it? Why is it? The action is same. For every action, there is an equivalent reaction. This is a law, right? But we have 3 different reactions here. How come?
Because intensity went down. When you observe yourself, intensity went down, so you get different reactions.
There you go. Now you know the trick. When you are in very hot mode, you look at that emotion, it came down. Now you question on that emotion. When you question, what happens? That is what she told it as analysis. It further comes down. When you observe, that 10 became 6, and when you question, that 6 becomes 4. Now that stick is disappeared. Now the blaming disappeared. Now, instead of blaming and having a drama in the house, which is quite good actually. When the drama happens, you would love it. You would miss it anyway. But now, instead of all the drama, you are having a discussion. When it is a discussion, is what? What is the difference between discussion and yelling?
You're talking.
Yes, yelling is only one side, discussion is two.
You know, one direction towards 2 directions. Right? Now you are becoming more constructive at this point. You tend to understand the other person. Probably they damage the wall because they have nothing else to do. They are sitting in the house all the day. Now, with intensity 6, what did you do?
By that time with something.
You didn't even give them an opportunity to explain. With 10, you created fear in them. Now they are not even willing to talk to you, or they won't even come out of their room. They go, lock the door, and then when you open the door, they go sit in the corner and then they shiver. You see the reaction from the action, there is a reaction. And on this reaction, there is another reaction. Because this is an action for them. With scale 10, you hit him. So he went and closed the door. Now you opened the door. He is scared. You are going to beat him again. He goes to the corner and sits. He tends to close down. So there are always conflicts of interest, conflicts of opinions. So if I were them, I would say you take 500, I will take 500. There ends the matter. Or I would say this time is mine, next time is yours. And next time I will make sure that it is only $10. Right? We kind of play tricks there. And now the drama begins. The wife goes and complains to her neighbor. Now the chain goes on. You know what? Her husband cheated. Now everything begins. So the first step is awareness, observation, mindfulness, all these things. So now the second step. When it comes to our, how many of you read this Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, or our scriptures, any of these literatures? You did? That's good. Anybody else? You also did.
भगवत गीता स्वाध्याय में सिखाते हैं.
So only two people, right? So I can say anything now. Testing. But jokes apart, how does these scriptures written? How are these scriptures written? Sanskrit. And how is the Sanskrit language?
In form of verses,
Verses. And how are those verses?
chapters.
Chapters. And
श्लोकास.
I am asking about the grammar. How is the grammar in those languages? Now, Brunali, we say, man, where did I go? From philosophy to grammar. Now the cow story began. No. They are all in Tritiya Vibhakti. In Vibhaktis, Tritiya Vibhakti. What is Tritiya Vibhakti?
Third person.
Third person. So, in Telugu, I will say, many of us were given these, Vibhaktis to by heart. Chetan Chen Todam Tod is the Tritiya Vibhakti. Means what? The language of this Vibhakti is written in such a way that, let's say, your mom gave you food to eat. What do you say?
Thank you.
No. That is bad.
I give so
I don't want to eat. I'm not hungry.
Yeah, I am not hungry. Or
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
You made this stuff. I don't like it.
So those are your reactions or whatever state. But now if you need to look at it from a Tritiya Vibhakti, how do you say?
He didn't like
No.
it's
Chetu. Like
The food was not liked by me. So what happened there? Tritiya Vibhakti is differentiating. So the whole Bhagavad Gita is written in this fashion. Even this, the Upanishads and scriptures, all those things are written in the Tritiya Vibhakti. So Vali was liked by Rama. Now what do we say? Vali likes Rama. Vali was liked by Rama. Rama was liked by Vali. I take the bus. I was taken by the bus. I reached at 5:30. 5:30 was
the time I reached home.
it is difficult to convert, but you get the context. So what is happening in that language?
respecting
You are
your judgment.
separating. Your action is different, you are different, object is different, subject is different, action is different, everything is different. Why is that written in that way?
Because you are not your action.
Your actions are different from you. Your feelings are different from you. Your emotions are different from you. Did we ever question this from our scriptures or when we are reading this? We read this and we say, oh, Krishna is great. Why is he great? Krishna is born like us. He died like us. he has some extra powers, but other than that, he's just like us. He went through sufferings, he went through, fevers, diseases, all that stuff.
The thing is, Krishna remained the same all through his journey.
How do you know? I didn't see.
He was always happy. Yeah.
So when we get the anger is arising in you. That is the language we use. So what happens there? I am angry versus anger is arising in me. What happens?
You're not identified with being
Anger.
Now you are delinking that anger from you. I am angry means you are accepting. You are already owning that. Disowning is the main purpose of this one. This small shift of separation, what happens? Your intensity comes from 4 to 3. Now you are at 10 to begin with. You started observing, it came to 6. That hitting became yelling. Now that 6 became 4 with questioning, analysis. Now you started discussing. Now that 4 became 3. Through this separation. What is that separation? Your wall is not yours. When you own it, what happens? You have that attachment. Your anger is intensified. But when you detach, do you care about if the rental car has all the crap inside it? You would just drink the coconut, thing and then drop it in the car. You eat sandwich, drop that thing in the car. Do you do the same thing in your personal car? Why? It's a car is same.
Then it comes mine.
Mind, the attachment. So when you detach yourself, the intensity further comes to. So the anger that you had, 4 becomes 3. When it is 3, discussion becomes what?
So we can prepare it.
Constructive. It becomes constructive at that point. What can we do to not do this mistake again? Right? Is that negative turned positive at this point?
Yes.
Okay. So that is Tritiya Vibha. Very important. Now, moving on. How many of the times we say something, do something?
And then regret it.
Why is that? Why do we say something and do something?
Because we don't think.
You take the car out on Saturday, you would say, I will go buy grocery store. You are passing by. Now Tilak Jewelers is shining in front of you. Now you say, without knowing yourself, you turn the steering into the parking lot. Now you start scratching. Oh, shall I go inside? Now you would say, okay, that's fine. I won't buy it, but now you goes inside. Now that salesman says, oh, you know what? I got a brand new design. Only 2 pieces left. Now you would say, man.
Call my husband.
So you would call your husband and say, what?
No, come to Tilak right now.
So nice, Srilakshmi. My wife would say, hey, the bank has less money, what happened?
So you're more careful than your wife.
So similar is the pattern that we have. What happens is the mind says, I am perfectly all right. I am happy. We do all kinds of affirmations in meditation. But as soon as you come out of the meditation, you are the saddest person in the entire world. You are full of energy and healthy before the meditation, and after the meditation, you are more depressed. Why?
The joy and awareness.
Because our mind is different from our body. Mind plays only 5% of the role. Remember this. You are trying to take over your mind, but your body has 95% of memory with it. Body knows how to react. Body has its own memory. With your older self, what did you do? We have discussed a lot about older self. What did the older self do? Created patterns. That pattern became what?
Habits.
Mind for the body. Now the body has mind itself. Now this body says, let's say you have a disease and you want to heal from the disease. Your mind, you are saying to your mind, with your mind that I am healing, I am happy, I am, all abundant, all that stuff. Now, when it comes to your body, the body says, no, you are a loser. You don't have money. You are one of the worst persons that I have seen. Now your 5% happens what?
Bother me.
Yes. You are a big loser at that point. Now, when your mind accepts this 95%, what happens? We get yawning. And we go to sleep. Hibernate. Right? 5% rule is created by the misalignment between your body and mind. So, frustration. When you have frustration on the older self and you say, I am peaceful, what happens? Peaceful becomes unfamiliar to your body. And first thing is the body rejects. Does the body accept? Let's say a new neighbor who came to your neighboring house, he comes, bangs your door, and he comes and sits in your sofa and says, can you get me some lassi? Will you give him or her? Maybe. May not.
Yeah. I am in mood.
You would be questioning.
Yeah.
What kind of person is this? But if a same known person comes, you would give it without asking.
Yeah.
Right? So that is the difference between newer self and older self. The newer self, when they comes to you, you kind of reject. Samudra Mandan, this is a story that we all saw. When they started churning the milk ocean, what happened? First thing came out was the poison. Whenever you introduce a new concept, you get the rejection. That is the first thing you anticipate. Does anyone have a success in the very first meet? Very first try? Almost never, unless the task is pretty simple. Like I want to eat jalebi today. You go to a grocery store, buy. Right? So, for frustration, peace becomes unfamiliar. For abundance, the wealth becomes unrealistic. How many times did you hear? Do we have money on the tree? For a judgment, acceptance, the blame becomes first step, and acceptance becomes, and responsibility becomes uncomfortable. Those are your new patterns. Okay. So now, how do we change these patterns? Let's say we heard about all these terms, right? Inner child, workshop, all these things. So now let's connect the dots. I'll go from 15 minutes more. But I think we are running slow anyway. Yes. So let's say you have you are living in a house for 15 years. You have a water leak in your house, your appliances are old, you have, the things, the windows are a bit loose, all that stuff. Now, what do you do if you want to be comfortable? As and when the repair comes, you would change it. Let's say if microwave stops working, you change the microwave. If dishwasher stops working, you change the dishwasher. But you are used to that same house with all those adjustments that goes on. But now, let's say your husband comes to you and says, hey, why don't we do this? The technology has changed quite a bit now. Everything became smart. So we will try to adopt the new technology. So now you said, okay, let's do that. Now you guys bought a land and then you started building your house. What do you do the first thing?
Foundation.
Which one?
Foundation.
Before that?
Designing.
Oh, planning.
Designing. Before that?
Writing. Budget and sales.
Budgeting. Before that?
Find a place first.
Before that?
Dreaming. Money.
First thing that you do is you question what is that you need in the house. Everything is dependent on that. Whether you want a metal roof, you want a polished flooring, you want all kinds of gadgets, you want to have a remote control for everything, how many switches you need, what kind of dishwashers you need. You can sit in your couch and switch on your dishwasher. You have a automated soap that comes in. You have a wireless the AC that comes in. If there is a water leakage, automatic stops. You kind of look at all kinds of features that are available. Now you kind of design it and build your house. She knows better. She did this recently. Now, what do you take from your old house into the new house?
The ones which are in repair, I wanted to check it out. Like the one, like the ones which I didn't like in the old house, first I look at that.
belongings and
Facility in the new house.
Yeah, there you whatever you need, absolutely essential, those are the ones that you take. Rest everything, you put it in the Facebook marketplace or discount, right? But your the first one, the first model, your old house, you have been living with that condition, with that same environment, everything. But now you are also living the same way, but in a much better, efficient, much smarter way of living. You are becoming dumber, by the way. But you are in a much more comfort situation in this moment. So what happens in the old house and what is the difference between the new and old? Tell me. From a spirituality perspective.
Comfortable.
From spirituality perspective.
Oh.
I mean, like you try to slowly be mindful and then
You have been repairing. Right?
repairing. And then also there's something called as, even though I know that I'm not completely in awareness, or I know I'm still I'm carrying old patterns. I know that I'm in awareness and I'm working on it, work in progress, and I know there is a little bit of satisfaction that okay, I am changing a little bit. There is some self discipline, and there's some self, what is it called? I don't know the term, but yeah, that is there.
So we are trying to identify our problems, pulling on the tools like the inner child, pulling on the things like our age regression, hypnosis, all these things, and try to repair them. The Windows ones, the microwave ones, the dishwasher ones, on that. But with this new thing, what did we do?
Realization.
You only brought the essentials into the new one, and you discarded everything else. So do you still need the same repairs in the new house?
No.
Why?
Maybe new one it's working good. Maybe some, yeah.
And it will
Already
change,
was done.
but again it will start after 3 years. And it will change. The dishwasher will be hard.
Maintenance.
So here you kind of discarded your old pattern and created a new pattern. You were so familiar with your old house, as soon as you come to your new house, you kind of blame yourself. I forgot where I put my sugar. I forgot where this dal bowl was.
Actually, it's overwhelming.
So it's a pretty long subject. I think I'm trying to condense this. So we will homework for this week. Think about new patterns. Start observing your stuff. Look at the intensity, how you come from 10 to 3. If you are coming from 10 to 8, that's great. If you are coming from 10 to 9, even better. There is some improvement. If you are coming from 10 to 2, don't talk to me. So do that observation, self-observation. Then the second one, what did I do? Three things we spoke, right? 4 things actually. From 10 to 6, observation. From 6 to 4,
4 to 3.
question, analysis. Why? Right? From 4 to 3, Tritiya Vibhakti. Detachment. Don't question by me. Next time when we meet again, don't ask me what is Tritiya Vibhakti. Okay? The homework for this week is practice these 3. We'll come to discussing how to create this, clone this older self into the newer self. and bring only the essential portions into the new self.
What are the three? Can you please repeat? Question, observation, questioning, and
First thing is observation.
observing.
Got it?
Whole class is gone now.
Hopefully, I'm not overwhelming you guys or boring you guys, but this is a very serious subject. So I wanted to put it in small chunks that you can grasp. Okay, so
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is that? It's like, more. Then it's going to be difficult.